All right, guys, today what we're going to do is we're going to go through the process for doing a written budget. I think this is a great way, if you've never done budgeting before, to really put eyes on everything in your life and write everything down and really get in your brain how much you want to spend on everything. Sometimes we use like automated tools or apps or stuff like that, and it gives us kind of an out to let the machine do the work instead of us doing the work. So what we're going to do today is go through a template for what I give out to people for a written budget. I'll put it in the description as well, but this is what it looks like. So this is what we have here is called a zero-based budget. Basically what a zero-based budget is the goal at the end of the budget is to have our expenses and our income be equal so that we have $0 at the end. Now that doesn't mean that we don't have any margin in our budget. This just simply means that everything has a job. All the money that's coming in has a purpose, and we're putting it to a particular thing. So this beginning section right here is just kind of how to use this, but we're going to jump right in right here. So I'm just going to use me as an example so that it's easy and you guys can kind of follow along. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to start with our monthly take-home pay. So I'm going to put, it's not exactly this, but we're going to put the $4,000 in there. Now this is take-home pay after I've already allocated money to insurance and taxes through my W-2 job and all of that. So $4,000 is what I receive in paychecks, but isn't necessarily my entire paycheck. So when you're budgeting, you have to consider what is already paid for. Okay, so we're going to keep going. We're going to go down to tithes. So, or charity. We have spent and we have budgeting. We have spent columns and a budgeted column. What we're going to do is we're going to go and fill out the budgeted column, and then when you're actually using a budget, then you go back and you record how much you've actually spent for each item. So we're going to go through and we're going to do this by hand. Excuse me. So for a tithe, we're going to say 400. 10% of our take-home pay is usually what we do. Charity and offerings, we're going to leave that. We're going to leave that blank with the tithe. Going down, we have savings. I'm going to leave this for the time being because we have an emergency already, or an emergency fund already built out. If we were adding to an emergency fund or something like that, then we'd put stuff there. We go down to housing. We have rent, which is $11.75 with some utilities wrapped up in that. Real estate tax is nothing. Second mortgage is nothing. Repairs and maintenance, nothing. Association dues, nothing. Without being in an actual house, a lot of those things don't apply. Utilities, electricity, usually. So this kind of depends whether you're in the winter months or you're in the summer months. Because in the summer months, if you have AC running all the time, then it could bump your electricity bill up. Whereas if you have a gas heater during the winter, then your utilities might shift around a little bit. So we'll put 120 into electricity. Gas, I think, has been like 50 or 60 recently. When you're doing this yourself, go through like your past statements and what you've been paying for stuff. Water is included with our rent. Trash is included with our rent. Our phone/mobile for both my wife and I is 90. Our internet is 75, if I remember correctly. And then we don't have cable. So as you're going through this, I should go back. You can fill out the totals of each one of these. This will make your life a lot easier when you go back. So we have that down there. Go back up to food. The little envelopes that you see here are good candidates for cash envelopes if you truly are in a position where you need to take out money and keep it in cash so that you make absolute sure that you don't overspend. Then these would be good candidates to have envelopes for. So if you go to the grocery store, you have an envelope for grocery money. For groceries, we're going to put $4.50 for the two of us. For restaurants, we're going to put $50. Or if we want to have a night or two where we grab Chipotle or something like that, $50 is not a whole lot, but we don't eat out all that much, so that's fine. Clothing, we hardly buy clothes, but for us, maybe 40-20 between the two of us. Nothing for children and nothing for laundry. Transportation, we come down here. I guess I got to keep up with these totals. Whoops. Boom. Boom. Transportation, we look at gas and oil. I'm going to put $2.50 in there. Repairs and tires, I'm going to put $100 a month. $100 might be a little lean. If you think about, we have 2 cars, and an oil change for either one of the cars is probably going to be $80. If you drive enough, then you'd have to get an oil change maybe every 2 or 3 months. And so if you need to get tires for one of the cars, that's going to be another $1,200 or something like that. $100 per month probably will not cover all of the needed expenses for these things, but that's up to you how you want to evaluate that. I kind of cover it in the fact that we have an emergency fund here. So if we need to get new tires or something like that, then we have money in reserve. License and taxes, we'll leave that blank. If you know that your car or that you have expenses like that coming up for the following month, those are good things to plan out in advance. Car replacement, this is, if you're really trying to save up for something to get a new car. Other, boom. So $3.50 for transportation. Medical and health medications, it would be good to break down on a monthly basis what I need for insulin and those types of things, because usually I hit my deductible every year for type 1 diabetes. But for this month, we'll say that's already been hit and whatever. Doctor bills, I've got nothing. Dentist, nothing. Optometrist, nothing. Vitamins, nothing. Other. So nothing there. Moving on, we have life insurance is taken care of already by my employer. Same with health insurance. Homeowner and renters insurance per month comes out to like $11 a month, if I remember right. Auto insurance, because we've had a couple accidents, it's $280 per month to save up toward the big lump sum payment that we pay insurance. Disability insurance paid for already by employer stuff, or it's already taken out. Identity theft, long-term care, nothing there. So then we have $291. Personal, we've got childcare sitter, we got nothing there. Toiletries, maybe $30 for shampoo or toothbrush, toothpaste, whatever. Cosmetics and hair care. For the two of us, this probably would come out to like $50, because my hair doesn't need a whole lot of love, but Emily's does, and so that's usually a good monthly number that we've come to. Education, tuition, nothing there. Books and supplies, nothing there. We're out of school. Child support, nothing. Alimony, nothing. Subscriptions. So subscriptions, we don't have a whole lot of subscriptions either. We've got Spotify, which is $18 something per month. We've got we have like USCCA, something like that. I might put that down here. USCCA, and this is $33 a month. For subscriptions, we'll say 30. I might be forgetting one, but we've got that going on. Organization dues, nothing. Gifts. So Gifts is a good one that they include in here because those are the type of things that sneak up on you. So usually what we do is we look out into the coming month and we say, all right, how many birthdays do we have? Do we have Christmas coming up? Do we have Easter coming up? Are we doing anything? And then incorporating that into here. Not going to worry about that right now. Replace furniture, no. Pocket money. So pocket money in the budget or in this template budget is like fun money. This is money that you can spend wherever, and that's just what you get. So right now I believe our fun money is at $150 a piece. And that's just for if we want to go to a concert, if we want to go watch a movie, if we want to buy something off Amazon, anything like that. Baby supplies, not yet, but that will become a expense for us very soon, like very, very soon. Pet supplies, we got nothing. Music technology, I guess I could have put Spotify here, but that's fine. Miscellaneous, I always include a little bit of fluff in the budget so that any ankle biter expenses don't come in and throw everything off, which is always very annoying. Usually I keep that at a minimum of $50, and then the USCCA for that. Okay, let's do this one in my head. Moving up to recreation, entertainment, another one that could be taken out of some of the personal ones. We'll say 50 for entertainment because this usually is like a date fund for my wife and I if we want to go and do something. Vacation, nothing saving up for in that. So then we have 50. Okay, now we get to debts. This is after, as you've noticed, probably we've gone through a bunch of the necessary expenses, some of the unnecessary expenses with pocket money and those types of things. But these debts are where we're really going to focus our attention if you have debt, because paying off debt will be a very good investment in your future. So we don't have any debt though. So we don't have any car payments. We don't have any credit cards. We don't have any student loans anymore. We don't have anything other than that. But that's, you probably budget in one of these sections for, like, if you had a car payment of a minimum car payment of $450 or something like that. I don't even know what car payments are these days, but that's something that you could include here, and you would deal with it that way. So nothing there. Now we get to add up all of what we have. So let me do that really quick. Okay, so after adding all of that up, we come to $3,634 in expenses. So then we come down to this section at the bottom. We say, all right, what's our take-home pay? It's $4,000. And then we take our total expenses, which is 3,634, and then we take the difference between those two numbers. And that comes out to $366. So then what we would do is, because this number is not quite at zero yet, we would go back through our budget and we would account for that $366. So what we could do is, let's say, it would probably go into a savings type of thing. But instead, well, we'll make our own. Right now what we're doing is we're saving for a house. That's kind of our next goal. And so instead of a college fund, we could have house. And then we could put $366 in there. We would get our total there. And that way, our total expenses in each category comes up to $4,000, and we would get a $0 balance at the end. So that is basically how you can do a written budget yourself. This is a really useful tool, especially if you haven't budgeted before, because like I just walked you through, it's not hard. It's just a matter of going through each line item and seeing which applies to you. And there's always room for changes and adjustments, different line items if you have a different situation, all that type of thing. But it's not that hard. It's just a matter of sitting down and doing it. And then the most important thing is obviously making a budget that you will stick to. So today we just focused on making the actual budget, but the consistency part is going to be something that we're going to talk about in later videos, because that is even more important than whatever budget you come up with. So let me know if this was helpful, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.